Well, good morning, everybody. Beautiful spring day here in Summit County, and glad to have everybody here. Today we're going to be, my name's Lynn Goosens. Today we're going to be talking about multi-store purchase orders. This is a new feature that's in the pending release of version 7.15. As dealers, you can have access to that. Just give us a call here at the office and we can get that for you. This is Keystroke Live. We're here every Thursday, at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Same time, same place, same login information. Every week we're talking about something different. The first Thursday of each month is with Michael Gepp. So let's give a little background on multi-store purchase orders. First of all, it requires a Keystroke license for advanced POS and multi-store at the location that you're going to be creating these multi-store purchase orders. You don't have to have advanced at every store, but you do need to have advanced to be able to use the multi-store purchase orders. It is a way to be able to generate purchase orders, one large purchase order, and have it allotted, each of the items allotted to your individual stores. And it actually creates purchase orders in the individual stores. I do highly recommend using different multi-store PO numbering system so that you can distinguish at the store level the difference between a local purchase order or a purchase order that the store has made versus a purchase order that was made at the main location or the warehouse or something like that. It has an allotments display grid, so you can say, I'm going to order 50 of these and 5 of them are going to go to this store, 10 are going to go to this store. And so it makes it easy to do corporate purchasing for all of your locations. There is a reserved mode in multi-store purchase orders, and I'm going to show all this to you in Keystroke, but it may be best to start with this type of purchase order. This does not create, the reserve mode does not create the individual purchase orders in the stores yet. It just allows you to work on this large purchase order and save it as you go along. And once you're finished and it is in its final mode, you can convert it to a regular purchase order or a regular multi-store purchase order, and then you can get it so that it will be available at all the stores. Right now there's one form file that I will show you that you can print multi-store purchase orders. It has some unique features in that it will show the allotments for each store as well as contact information for each store. So if you're sending this to a vendor, they will have an idea of what goes to which store, so they can drop ship from the vendor to each store. Or if you'd like, you don't have to, you can have a custom form that doesn't have that information. Maybe you want everything in the warehouse, and the warehouse is actually going to distribute it. You can also, at the location where you're doing the multi-store POs, you can print orders for the individual stores as well, and this is helpful if it's actually the warehouse that's going to be doing the dispersing or disbursement of all the items that come in. You can edit multi-store POs, but you want to edit with care, because if someone at the store level has already done something or edited that purchase order, and you edit it then in the multi-store mode, it's going to overwrite their changes, so you want to be very careful. Right now I do have one report form for a multi-store PO. Others are under construction, and eventually I'm going to ask for suggestions. But let's take a look at Keystroke and what that's all about. We're going to start out here in Purchase Manager. When you are licensed for advanced POS as well as multi-store, when you go to Purchase Manager, you can go to the transaction menu, parameters, and you have a choice for multi-store. And these are all your multi-store parameters. So this is what you want to set up first. It looks at the same store list that you might have in StoreLink, but you can look at it and edit it here just as easily as you can edit it in StoreLink. So we try to make it as easy as possible. You can look at, right now I have 4 stores set up. I have my master. This is where the purchase order form that I spoke about will get the contact information for the different locations if your vendor is going to drop ship. This is also where you can set up if you want to print these multi-store, the individual store orders at the location you're doing the multi-store. So it's set up just like any other print button. So you can see I have all my stores here, and if I need to, I can add new stores. There is a group feature that I'm not really going to get into right now, but if you have a need for it, please give us a call and we'll tell you what it's all about. It's a way when you have a very large organization where you maybe only order for stores 1, 3, and 5 one week and stores 2, 4, and 6 the next week. You can kind of group those, but we're not going to get into that today. So once you've set up your stores, of course you want to save your changes, then you can determine, first you have to enable multi-store purchase orders. And if you'd like, you can default to the multi-store mode. If this is not checked, when you're in Purchase Manager, Control M for multi-store will bring up multi-store mode. You can then choose to decide to set up your multi-store order in reserved mode. And I can also check here, display max quantity, and I will show you this in the allotments as we go along. So we're going to check that. You can also set a security level to edit the reorder quantities on the individual records. That would make it able to, so that you can have people edit those reorder levels or not. And then you can have a display file, which is this box down here. And you can have it a different display file than what you have in regular purchase orders. It's up to you. Remember, these display files are also editable if you want. So we're going to click OK. Let's take a look first of all. I already have, when you first set this up, I talked about doing different numbering system. Notice my numbering here for multi-store orders, I have it in the thousands. If I take a look at my regular purchase orders, if I just hit Control O here, my regular purchase order now, my numbers are lower. And that really makes a difference when you're in an individual store and you go to look at your orders by number. You can see the local purchase orders versus the multi-store purchase orders. Let's go back to multi-store mode. Remember, Control M. We'll change it to multi-store. And we can take a look here at an order I've already done, that this is already at the stores. So I've done a multi-store purchase order from my vendor. When you take a look at a line item and you hit F3 on the line item, you get the allotments. This tells you or allows you to change what you have ordered for each store. So I'm in the warehouse right now, or my master, and I'm ordering 10 there. I'm ordering 15 for Colorado, for all my different locations. This column tells you what the current quantity on hand is at that store, at each of the stores, what the current on order quantity is, what the new quantity on hand would be once these are received. It shows your minimum quantity that you have set up on the individual inventory records, which is kind of your reorder point. It also shows what your order quantity is set up to. In this case, this item is set to a -15. Remember your negative order quantities. Say when you do order this item, you want to order enough to bring your quantity on hand up to this amount. And also if you want to set up a max quantity, you can. And every single line item has this, and you can change it if you need to. But this is why I recommend when you initially do a multi-store order, start in reserve mode so you can play with these, you can adjust these quantities. Maybe you start out with what you really want to order and it doesn't fit in your budget, so you need to kind of reduce things. Starting in the reserved mode is going to make that a whole lot easier and less complicated. So let me have you take a look at what a multi-store PO looks like, the form that we have. You can see it's a multi-store order number. It shows, let me move this a little bit. It shows each item. It shows then for each item the store number and the store ID and how many you've ordered for each store. So you can see everything as you go along. And then at the very bottom, just like any purchase order, it gives you, your subtotal, shipping if you've added it, that sort of thing. Then on the last page is where it shows the store information, if you want, that you can send to your vendors so they know, okay, the warehouse, this is its address and phone number for your various locations. As you can see, I don't specifically have, all my information in there, but it does give you a pretty good idea of what this multi-store purchase order print button is set up to and how it works. Now I have also set up, as I save this, remember I mentioned that you can also print the purchase orders that were created at the individual stores. When I hit save here, it comes up with a box that says print individual store purchase orders. I'm going to select all of them. They're all pretty much going to be looking the same, but with the different quantities, and I'm printing them to the screen. So when I print them, brings up one. Of course, in my data, I haven't really adjusted this information, so, but you can print one, print the next. I'm printing to the screen, so that's why they're coming up just one at a time. But in general, once you're done, you can set to print to a printer, and you have all of that information available to you. So now, I want to show you I already have a reserved order in here that I've been working on. To find a reserved multi-store order that you've already saved, you go to the transaction menu, edit, print, reserved. by number. So reserved multi-store orders are in with other reserved orders. You can see I only have one, and it is designated next to the vendor here as a multi-store purchase order. Again, to distinguish whether it's a local order or a multi-store order. So let's bring that one up. Got a few things ordered here, and looks like all my costs are zero, so let's take a look here at my allocation. I'm doing 10 at each location. Well, I don't really want 10 staplers, so I'm going to go down and I'm going to change this one to 5, and this one to 8, and this one to 4, and this one to 2. And if I hit F10, whoops, this is something I hadn't really checked, and I will definitely write this down on multi-store purchase orders. So we're not going to change the rest of these. I'm going to go ahead and put in a cost here for this item, and my staples are this cost, and these staples are this cost. I can save this again because it's still reserved, or if I'm satisfied with the way it is, hit Control M. It automatically becomes just an order. I can print it out. Again, you've seen what that looks like. But now if I save this, I'm going to skip all of these and not going to print any of those. And now it has actually created this order in all of the stores. Remember, it was order 1002. We can take a look here at the master, edit print, order by number. Now you see this order, this 1002 in here. And you see just what was ordered for this store. All the other stores are going to have similar orders. So you have everything here that you need so that when the merchandise arrives at the store, the individual stores can bring up this order, receive it, save it just like any other purchase invoice. Okay, I'm going to unmute everybody, give you a little bit of a chance to ask any questions that you might have. And please, what was that?
The little stuff, the store orders themselves.
Okay.
Because the warehouse doesn't want to be bothered with it.
Does anybody have any questions about this?
Well, this was written specifically, I think, for Sid.
Well, actually, it's not. There are a lot of multi-stores out there that have been wanting this for a long time, and not just a particular dealer. Even, just small businesses that maybe have a couple of stores. They want to control the purchasing at the main location and just allow the individual stores to receive the items. So I think it'll be a really handy feature for all kinds of multi-store environments. Any other questions? Well, let's review real quick what we've talked about here. Remember, this requires licensing for advanced POS and multi-store. It is used to generate purchase orders for each of the individual stores. I do suggest using different multi-store PO numbers so you can distinguish at the store level things that are that are just purchased by the local store versus the multi-store or the main warehouse. You get an allotments display grid So you can start with reserve mode. Got different form files. I did forget to show you the report form, but it will be included if you have any specific requests for reports. I can show you that report form actually real quickly. I have it in Report Manager. I've done a purchase transactions form for MultiStore purchase orders. And I have purchase orders from yesterday and today. You can see my 101, how many I've ordered, how they're allocated to the various stores, Store 0, Store 1, and you can see that. But if you have other requests for report forms, definitely, please let us know. I'd like to thank you. Looks like I didn't update my slide. Next week, I've forgotten what we're going to be doing, but it won't be me with MultiStore purchase orders again, but we will have another session next week, Thursday, 9 o'clock. Want to thank everybody for attending, and everybody have a great day.